Now, about that maypole thing.
Oh, yes, that maypole thing. And we're not going to talk about Tim's maypole dancing, are we?
No, 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 no,
Thank you.
no.
Good, good, good. Because
I
I
don't
didn't
need that visual.
didn't
No,
want to go there.
no.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
So,
in the firelight and kind of like
Yes.
bear, you might say.
Well, we call it skyclad. But yeah, he's butt naked is really what you're going to talk about.
I,
Yeah.
I would call it scary.
I would too. Yes. Given the source. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But about the maypole dance, can you
Yes.
talk a little bit about the origin of that and what the meaning is behind the dance that they do?
Yeah, the maypole thing. Well, we talked about this a little bit on the show because I was asking her because a lot of way back when, a lot of the maypoles were made of birch. And of course, right now I can't remember what she said why, but it was a really good wood for that. And maypoles are phallic symbols. And people probably don't know that, which is probably scary to some people too. But the ribbons and the flowers and everything has a meaning, and I wrote it out at some point. Now I'm going to go find it because I can say it better than think it because it's not going to come out of my mouth the right way. But it's required on May Day. Did you? And there's a question for all of you because this happened here in LA. Did ever on a May Day, the May 1st, when you were in elementary school, did you ever have to dance around the maypole?
I never did.
No, but we had May baskets.
Now, see, we didn't have May baskets. We had maypoles. What about Jeff? Did you dance around in a maypole in the elementary school back east? Mm,
Jeff,
maybe,
he may
maybe
not be he may
he
not be
dropped.
with us. Yeah, but
Yeah.
he does that from time to time. He's been having some Skype issues.
Oh,
Yeah, the not enough power, you might say.
okay. Well, I didn't realize it, that when I was in school, we did that one year. And I was always kind of neat with the maypole dance that, you're going in and out and we had no clue. They didn't tell us why we were doing it. They said, well, this is May Day and, we're going to dance around the maypole. And we're going, okay, we get to hang on to ribbons and scatter around. It was really kind of okay. But we didn't know that it had this thing. So the maypole, again, it's a phallic symbol in nature and a symbol of potency of the god. Now, the ring of flowers at the top of the maypole represents the fertile goddess, and then the weaving dance represents the spiral of life and the union of the god and the goddess. So that's kind of the meaning of it. You're paying homage to the gods and dancing at the same time. It's not so bad.
Okay,
Yeah,
that
but
makes sense.
I love maypoles. I mean, they're pretty, and I love the ribbons, and it's so much fun if you see kids dancing around the maypole and they're having a good time and they're doing it good. And then see I think ribbons are really important during Beltane because hand fasting. Hand fasting is a ceremony of two people binding each other for a year and a day. And you can stay longer, but in the year and the day, if that year and the day comes to a point to the end that you don't decide this isn't the right person to be mated with, you don't have to stay. But I know a lot of people that go way beyond a year and a day. But in the hand fasting ceremony, one hand of each, the man and the woman, or the two men, the two women, however you're doing it, they hold each other, and then the ribbon, there's a really beautiful ribbon that's wrapped around their hands, and that's the binding agent. So I think there's a lot of ribbons. Okay, and I will give you one more thing, and everybody can do this, even though it's like not time of the year to do it. I mean, we're a day late, but I did a blog about wishing trees. And wishing trees are trees that it's kind of like in I think it's Scotland or Ireland where they have the cluties. They put messages and tie them to trees, wishes and hopes and everything. But
That's
the
usually to St. Bridget's, isn't it?
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
And so we have the wishing tree, and you take a ribbon and you write your wish on it and you tie it to a tree. And it's a very long ribbon usually. And I've seen wishing trees. They're beautiful because these colorful ribbons are going through the air, and it's an amazing thing to see. It's really pretty. And so I wrote a blog about it, which I posted a couple of days ago. Same website. Just go to the blog page, marlabrooks.com, and see how to make a wishing tree, and it's really easy. And I was talking to somebody when I was doing it, and they go, well, suppose that people don't have ribbon. Look what we don't even have toilet paper. How are we going to have ribbon now? That kind of thing. I said, well, you don't need ribbon. You can write it on a piece of paper. You can, write your wish on a piece of cloth and hang it from a tree. And I said, and you can, even though we're doing this, stay safe and social distancing and stuff, if it's a tree in your front yard, invite friends and neighbors not to come and sit there around the tree and chat, but they can also hang a ribbon. Put your wish on it, hang the ribbon, and it's something for them to look at. And if you're living in kind of an urban area, you don't have to have a tree. It's important that the ribbons blow in air because air is very powerful, and it carries your thoughts and your wishes and whatever up into the ethers. So if you don't have a tree, if you don't have a bush, if you don't have a front gate or a fence to put in, you can tie ribbons up into your windows and let the air come in the windows. Or even suppose you're in one of those apartment buildings that the windows don't open. Well, if you have an air conditioner in there, an vent, put the ribbons, hang them from the vent, and watch them blow in the wind. And all those wishes and hopes that you're looking for can come true. So it's really neat. It's a neat, crafty thing to do, but it's also kind of pretty. I mean, if people are driving down the street and you see these beautiful ribbons hanging from trees and blowing in the wind, it kind of makes you smile and forget what's going on for 30 seconds, which is good. Any amount of seconds is good these days.
now it's very interesting you're bringing up different elements here because on one hand, there's the earth element with the maypole, etc. And then there's the fire element in there. And I assume if you count wood as an element, that would be there as well. But also now the air element involved with the wind and the ribbons, etc. So where does water fit into these?
That's a good question. I'll think about it for a minute or 10. It might be an hour before I come up with something, but there should be with all the elements. I mean, I would hate to think that they would leave one out, right?
It could be the mead that is consumed at the time.
Well, yes, that's true.
or could be cleansing.
It could be the dew that you wipe your face in the morning, and the rain that blesses you. The Beltane rain and the dew. There you go. There's a water element. Yeah. So you can bring all the 5 elements into work, and it's just, this is kind of a time when people dance, and not just around maypoles. And I wish people could. I know there probably aren't very many fire festivals, if any, this year, but I'm almost sure that everybody I know that would have attended one will make a fire in their homes, in a fireplace or something, particularly people back across the pond. Everybody will find a way. And that's the beauty of it. When we're condemned about doing something, there's always a way. And that's why in that blog I talked about, well, if you don't have ribbons, use cloth. If you don't have cloth, use paper. If you don't have a tree or a bush, use, your window. There's always a way to get around things. And it works just as well because it's your intent and what you're putting into it that makes it work.
Yeah, they wasn't able to have a get-together with people, so pretty much people had to kind of like do it on their own, you might say.
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, you're making an offering, and I mean, anybody can, like we were talking about the fae, the fairies, you can still make offerings to the fairies, and a lot of people do. You don't have to go anywhere special, go outside, put a little offering down there, a little saucer of milk or cream or whatever you do for whatever kind of fairy you want to call. Yeah, some of them like Cuban cigars, I think, because some of them are
I
big
think
and
that's
mean.
more Santeria, isn't it?
Well, yeah, that's true. But yeah, I mean,
It's more Tim Shaw, actually.
well, it's definitely Tim Shaw, but yeah, I digress. But yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
we had Tim Shaw the other day, and
he
obviously you need.
your internet, right?
Oh, yeah. But
No,
we couldn't
I,
help bringing up, since you're a fellow Whovian, with
Uh-huh.
Tim Shaw being on
Yes,
Doctor Who.
yes.
So I was wondering
Did-
what you thought when you came across that in the episode.
Oh, that first episode, I cracked up because I could just see that as his alter ego. I've seen that as his alter ego, the Tim Shaw and Doctor Who and Tim Shaw, yes. And then I immediately sent him a note and go, "You're famous now, you're on Doctor Who." And he's, huh? Okay, Tim, get with the program here.
He says
Yeah.
he's got more traction from that than his books and investigations. And
No
stuff.
kidding, and I told him, I said, I said, Tim, I've had a good look at you here and there, and I do see kind of things under the skin that look similar to teeth. And he says, that's the side of you I never wanted you to see. Yeah, no, I that to me was like perfect because I could, they're very much alike at times. That's all I'm going to say.
yeah.
And then he broke your internet.
No,
And he
Tim,
broke the
Yeah.
internet.
Tim didn't do it. I did.
He did it with the table tipping.
Yeah.
That's my story, and I'm sticking with it.
That was exactly what happened. Tipped the table.
Oh boy. See? Never you have to watch yourself when you're around him, even if it's on the internet. You have to be very, very careful. Yeah.
Well, I
Sneaky little guy.
I do tell you that the first time I ever met him, we were doing. Matter of fact, it was one of the first investigations that they had me on, and I wasn't even on Para X then. I mean, with a show. I mean, I was on Para X a lot, but not with a show. But we were doing the Sorg Opera House, and they did go down in the basement, and I was down there watching them, and they did do table tipping, and I was filming. I had my eyes on people to make sure that they wasn't moving the table, and they wasn't. I mean, that table was moving by itself.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. He's a spooky guy. He gave me. He called. We talk on Skype all the time, but he called one day and he said, "You want to see the house? You want to see the new house?" Because I'm so happy that they got that new house. It's like their dream house. It's perfect. And they, being typical East Coasters, they had no idea what it would be like to live on one floor in a ranch style house. And it's like, oh my God, all this room. But he in his own lovely way said, "Come on, I'll take you." So he got out the laptop and we went through the house up and down and around and around. Next time I need Dramamine. Seriously. I mean, it was
yeah.
yeah, we're bouncing around. He's going up. They have this basement that's bigger than two of my old houses put together.
wow.
I mean, whatever. But I said, I know you mean well, but oh my God, slow down. Just hold it steady, please. Just hold it steady.
Yeah, I found out I have virtual motion sickness like that. If it's not on a steady cam, I learned this the hard way when I was watching the Blair Witch Project in the theater, and I lost my cookies at my seat.
Oh my
before I
God,
realized
that
it.
bad? Oh.
That bad, because I didn't realize I was thinking, why do I feel kind of queasy? Blah. And I was on a date.
Oh.
That's
And I had to excuse myself, rush to the bathroom, and there were like 15 other guys in there. We were all losing our cookies. And then I went back to the seat thinking I was done from the bathroom, and then a little bit more, and I was leaning over so far, she put her hand on my back. I'm thinking, oh, this is so embarrassing and awkward. She didn't realize what I was doing.
Oh.
Huh.
She literally, at the end, I said that we want to go the other direction because we want to step in this. She's like, oh, what happened there? I'm like, you didn't see me leaning over and doing that. And she says, I thought you were crying.
Well, you probably were.
Yeah.
And it was a full house because it was the first weekend. And but when we moved out of our Montclair house, we had a 3-floor house, And I videotaped how empty it was and how large it was now that everything was out. But playing it back, I realized, oh my God, I can't watch this.